All right. Well, hello, one and all. Can you see me right now? I hope you can. Let me know in the chat. French Toast Waffles, Mayor Space, how are you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Hey, SoFluff. Hey, Claire Burr, how you doing? I'm here in Rapid City, South Dakota right now at the Dinosaur Museum. So I got this equipment working again. Stuff has been driving me insane. It is just incredibly frustrating. But hopefully it'll be working from here on out. Yeah, you see I've got a Dilophosaurus behind me? Take a look at that. Very cool. I love the bright colors on it. And that is about actual size for this animal. It's pretty big. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and mosey on into the museum. And we'll take a look around. I've never been to this museum before. It is my first time ever visiting. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. So, here we are here. There we go. Claire says we really appreciate you giving it the effort, Danny. Oh, Claire, you have no idea how much effort. This thing has been such a time vampire. It's just been ridiculous. The amount of time this is taken trying to troubleshoot all of this stuff. There's like a million points of failure. A million different ways that it could go wrong. And I feel like I've encountered almost all of them at this point. But anyway, for whatever reason it's working now, without having actually changed anything. So yeah, let's head into the museum and take a look around. So I've already paid my admission and everything. Should be good to go in. Alright, thanks again. Alright, here we are. Take a look at this. Wow. We've got a bunch of fleshed out models of these different dinosaurs. Hopefully the low lighting conditions in here are okay for the camera. Let me know. But, yeah. Take a look at this right here. Looks like Stegosaurus. This is a Pachycephalosaur from the late Cretaceous of Canada. It's maybe slightly bigger than life size. I've got a Stegosaurus skull at home, a 3D print. And it's
Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus, yeah.
So you're doing paleontology work?
I am, yeah. I'm actually doing a live stream right now.
Oh, cool. My name is John.
Hi there, John.
Tour guide around here. I'm also a paleontology enthusiast. So.
Good to meet you. I'm a paleontologist, actually. Can I get you on camera real quick?
Sure thing.
Yeah? Hey.
Hello there.
Hey, so from Museum of the Rockies, Badlands Dinosaur Museum.
Oh, I visited there.
You did? Very cool.
Although I do wonder, what kind of polycotylid is that in the Museum of the Rockies?
I don't know if it's actually been named yet. My friend Eric was working on that.
Oh.
But yeah. I think it might be a new one. It was from, shoot, I forget where it's from. But anyway, yeah.
Okay, let me know about the update and I'd be glad to answer.
Cool. Sounds
Anyways,
good. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look around and I'll let you know if I have any questions, I guess.
Yeah, I have, although I do have a personal favorite fact that I like to state.
Yeah?
It's about T-Rex.
Sure.
The fact that this creature could bite with a force of 12,800 pounds per square inch.
Pretty incredible, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially equivalent to getting curb stomped by a truck, you know?
It seriously is, yeah. So, probably one of the largest bite forces of any creature ever, so.
Yeah, I mean, of course it's overshadowed by Megalodon, which could bite up to 36,000 pounds per square inch.
Possibly, yeah.
Well, as estimated by the stress on the teeth, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, cool. I'm going to go have a poke around and, I'll let you know if I have any questions or anything.
Well, let me know if you need any more intellectual talk. I'd be glad to answer.
Sounds good. All right, thank you.
Although, do beware of wasps around here.
Wasps? Sure. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, particularly like the coloration on this. All too often you see dinosaurs that are kind of too drab. They're just, gray or brown or something like that. I like that they've given this guy some other colors here.
Hey! I'm sorry to bug you again, but where can I find you on the live stream? Is it...
Oh, let me give you a card, actually, yeah. I'm on Twitch.
Oh,
Twitch.tv/paleontologizing. Yeah, so, take a look. Yeah.
Paleontologizing. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't have Twitch. I mean, I never...
Oh, you just go on the website. You don't need to sign up or anything. It's pretty simple. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Take a look at this. Look at how small the forelimbs are. Yeah. Take a look at that, just to give you some sense of scale. Let me put myself in the shot too. I should really bring my SVP scale bar with me in here. Yeah, pretty neat. We're going to see a bunch of fleshed out dinosaur models here. What I'm more interested in, frankly, is the skeletal mounts. We've got a Parasaurolophus right here. Who here likes Parasaurolophus? This is your classic Lamiosaurine hadrosaurs, duck-billed dinosaurs. Very, very cool. Very close to give it a this kind of pebbly skin texture. And I think that is consistent with the skin impressions that we have from duck-billed dinosaurs. Pretty cool. Yeah. And again, just the scale that this gives you. That crest is like at least a meter long. This is a really big animal. It's not even one of the largest of the Lamiosaurs. Other ones like Lamiosaurus laticatus get significantly larger than this, maybe up to like close to 50 feet long. And what would that be in meters? What is that, like 14, 15 meters, something like that? Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, Parasaurolophus. And then here, we've got a Deinonychus, a non-feathered Deinonychus. Take a look at this. Pretty cool. So this is, at least they've got the wrists going in the right direction. You'll see a lot of older reconstructions of these dromaeosaurs, these raptor dinosaurs, that kind of have their wrists folded like this, like a Mr. Burns kind of a thing. Their palms faced one another. They've got these really cool semi-lunate carpal bones, just like in birds, where like this would be the natural way that they would hold their wrists. Nowadays, we know that these guys are completely coated with feathers. This would look, as I've said it many times before, like a big ground-running murder eagle. If you were to see this creature in the flesh, like in real life, you would probably mistake it for a bird. Because it basically is. It's a bird with a long tail and claws on its hands and teeth in its mouth. Speaking of those teeth, let's take a closer look. Pretty cool. Very cool. Now, you can probably hear in the background, they're playing Walking with Dinosaurs. I hope that doesn't, I don't get DMCA'd for that. That is copyrighted material. But anyway, Deinonychus, yeah. This is actual size for this animal too, or maybe a little bit larger than actual size. It's probably about actual size, actually, yeah. I'll put myself here for scale. So this is actually the same animal as the velociraptors from Jurassic Park. Those are actually Deinonychus. It's a long story as to why they gave it the name Velociraptor in the novel and then in the subsequent movie, but, you know, just know this. That's the Velociraptor from those movies, Deinonychus. It looks like Mr. Burns, Manny Rancho. And, let's see, there's Cubus. Hey, is it your first time here? Welcome to Paleontologizing. And I think we had somebody else new, too. Let's see.
You know, hello again.
Hi there. Yeah.
Again.
Uh-huh.
So, anyways, I do have one simple fact.
Sure.
This viper over there is a good representation of an extinct genus of venomous reptile, best known as Laopheus.
Cool.
A 10-foot long viper that most likely than not was a venomous creature from Greece.
Very nice. Cool. It looks pretty robust. It's like very thick.
Well, that's what Gaboon vipers look like, and paleontologists estimate that it's a relative of it.
Interesting. Pretty cool. I don't really hardly know anything about fossil snakes, so that's pretty neat to see.
Well,
yeah.
you know, that's one of the least researched topics, and even then it's rather iffy on, you know, actual different genuses back then. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of different genus of snake.
Oh, certainly, yeah. Yeah, the fossil record for snakes is actually pretty poor. So it's really cool anytime we have a, you know, any kind of good specimen like that. Pretty neat.
This Gaboon viper specimen here would definitely be the representation of a large 10-foot long version of Gaboon viper known as Laophius.
Interesting. Well, pretty cool. Thanks.
Yes, it could have been twice as chunky as this guy is, and oh lord, this snake be coming.
Pretty
I
cool.
just say that as a joke, you know.
Gotcha. Well, cool.
What's your name again, sir?
My name's Danny.
Danny. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see, let's take a look at a few more of these. That is a genuine fossil right there. That is not a cast as far as I can tell. You can still see the enamel on the teeth. And there's a femur, there's a skull and a femur right there in the same block. Mary Coitodon culbertsoni. Some kind of, I don't know, is that maybe an orthodont mammal or something like that? You know how iffy I am with fossil mammals. Ooh, and this is a charismatic one. Take a look at that. Homotherium. This is a saber-toothed cat. Very cool. From East Asia. Oh, I assumed it would be native to this area, but yeah. It's not particularly big, as you can see. Not one of the larger saber-toothed cats. But, cool. Got a whole hodgepodge of different stuff over here. Everything from stromatolites to oviraptorosaurs to a modern beaver, a horseshoe crab, and a giant beaver. That is pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't actually seen this in a museum before. Castoroides ohioensis. Became extinct only about 10,000 years ago. Wow, so this is part of the North American Pleistocene megafauna. Pretty neat. I had no idea they got that big. Pretty nifty. And look at that, an Elasmosaurus skull. So a big portion of that's been reconstructed. You can see big parts of it have been sculpted, but it still gives you a good sense for what the skull looked like. Elasmosaurs, by the way, are these really, really charismatic, long-necked plesiosaurs from the Cretaceous. So you can see there's the orbits right there, the eye sockets, and the nares, nostrils. And look at those interlocking teeth. And they go all the way back, almost to the jaw joint. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that. That's a lot of teeth on there. Still makes me wonder what these guys were eating. Were they like active pursuit predators of fish and squid? Or were they more bottom feeders? Or what were they doing? I don't know. Anyway, take a look at this. We've got some felid skulls. There's an American lion. Is it Felis atrox, I think? It's another saber-toothed cat. Not Smilodon. This one's got a much narrower skull, much longer. Pretty cool. Chirotis. We've got a few more right there. Now, smaller than Smilodon. These ones, at least. But saber-toothed cats are actually pretty diverse. It's interesting, you know. Not only do we have a bunch of different genera and species of saber-toothed cats, but not all of them are related to each other. Like, kind of saber-tooth condition seems to have evolved independently several times, which is pretty cool when you think about it. I don't know what it is exactly about saber teeth that are so advantageous to animals like this, but it's a feature that evolves again and again. Yeah. Got a bunch of eggs right here. Might return to those in a minute. Yeah. I'm just gonna scoot over here to get away from this crowd for a second. And pretty cool. everybody's favorite.
Tyrannosaurus right here. The cast of... Hey there, how's it going?
It's good. Yeah. Slightly over the fact that there's, well, so many people, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah, cool. Which specimen of Tyrannosaurus is right here?
It's a cast of...
I'm sure the kind of specimen. I'm sorry, I only know the specimen. Sue, Scotty, and Stan.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, this is not either of those. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah.
Anyways, would like to let anybody know the reason why I talk somewhat elaborately is because I have high-functioning autism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us know. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, I'm more than willing to share any facts if anybody has any questions.
I appreciate that, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was wondering about the T-Rex. If I think of anything else, though, I'll be sure and let you know. Yeah. Do you have a favorite specimen around here, maybe, that you could show us?
Oh, sure. Follow me.
All right, let's go.
Got some cool displays over here. Excited to look at these. Nice velociraptor there.
We'll get to that in a minute. All right. Ooh.
This creature right here, the iguanodon.
Oh, very cool. Fan?
Pretty much. Mostly because I did remember watching it on... Like, when I was a wee little lad, I remembered watching Disney's Dinosaur, and then I remembered watching Walking with Dinosaurs, and I just noticed how cool looking the iguanodons were.
Yeah.
But then I lost interest over time, but come Jurassic World Evolution, I just noticed the fighting capabilities this guy has, and then I regained my interest. Like, you know that mechanic where, like, Iguanodon's fighting the small dinosaurs, and then, well, one of the raptors, like, tries to jump on his back, but then gets punted into his place?
I've never really played the game, actually, so yeah.
Oh, well, I know that because of the clip that I've seen.
Pretty cool, yeah.
But yeah,
pretty neat animal. And I mean, Iguanodon, a lot of people forget just how robust it is. It's a big, beefy animal.
Yeah, basically Arnold Schwarzenegger of the herbivores.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. And I guess this is about life size for Iguanodon bernissartensis, I think? The one from Belgium?
Yeah.
This is the one from Belgium.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, Iguanodons are very nomadic animals.
I mean, the specimens of them all over the world.
But that's the thing, is we're not really sure if if we should call them all Iguanodon, or if they should actually have different names. Like, they might not all be the same animal. It's the cool thing. Like, Gideon Mantell's original Iguanodon has been renamed Mantellosaurus.
Mantellosaurus. I did not know that.
Yeah. And it becomes kind
of Dakota, that one iguanodon that like to hunt. What's it called again? I keep forgetting.
I'm not sure. I don't even know if it's been named yet.
I know it's been named.
It has been? Okay, yeah, cool.
Keep forgetting it every now and again. It's unfortunate though.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Although, there's also Hippodrome, which no bigger than that of someone's waist.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different iguanodons, and I think it's still pretty unclear, like, which ones are actually different from one another, and like family tree it looks like for iguanodons. So it's kind of an exciting group. There's a lot of work left to be done on them.
Iguanodons, I mean, it's a big family. It's a big nomad family.
Yeah, pretty cool. So thanks so much for showing us. I'm going to go back over there and see if hopefully that crowd has gone by, so I can show all my viewers some of the other stuff over there. But thank you so much for showing me the iguanodon. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks. All right, take a look over here. So much cool stuff to show you over here. Let's see, okay. Let me scoot past this crowd real quick. I'll get to that display with the eggs. Man, I really should have brought my mask. There was nobody here when I first got here. And now, it's really getting crowded. This is pretty cool. Here. Let's take a look at some of these hominids. I know next to nothing about human ancestors and their fossils, but here you go anyway.
Pretty cool. Got this beautiful series of casts of hominid skulls. Obviously, these are all
casts. They're replicas, you know, of the originals. Human ancestors are one of those groups where, up until fairly recently, there were like almost more scientists studying them than there were actual specimens. But really, we found a lot of them in the time they, paleoanthropologists, I don't work on these guys, but found a whole bunch of specimens in more recent years. And so the whole roster is really starting to fill out. And like the whole story of our origins as a species, like where did people come from, it's becoming much, much, much more clear than it used to be. Pretty cool. Anyway, I'm going to continue on because this area is just getting more and more crowded. We're going to have to skip the eggs, I'm sorry. Oh, here's a dinosaur that I've actually dug up before. This is a fleshed out reconstruction of its head. This is Brachylophosaurus. One of your classic crestless duck-billed dinosaurs. I don't know, crustless is a relative term, I suppose. Yeah. So I've worked on some Brachylophosaur sites in Hill County, Montana, north of a town called Rudyard. Liz Friedman Fowler, this is like one of her babies. She's done a lot of work on Brachylophosaurus. Really cool animal. And she actually, I don't know if she discovered the site, but she certainly named the specimen. There's a fairly new genus of dinosaur called Brachylophosaurus. It seems to be the ancestor of Brachylophosaurus. The really cool thing is we've got such a good handle on the stratigraphy in that area, like the age of all the rocks and, you know, how all these animals should be ordered and everything. Who came before whom and who came after whom and that kind of thing. That we can actually, like, basically watch Brachylophosaurus evolve into Brachylophosaurus. At least that seems to be what's going on. We could always be wrong, but it certainly seems like, you know, that's what's going on. So pretty cool. Brachylophosaurus. Really important dinosaur in terms of learning about anagenesis, like the kind of lineage evolution of one dinosaur genus into another. Pretty cool. It kind of raises the question, at what point do you call something a different genus or a different species if it's just one lineage evolving over time, you know? Yeah. And check out Dimetrodon right here. One of everybody's favorite non-dinosaurs. I feel like I've said that so many times. This is such a charismatic animal, and it gets so much attention that, yeah. Anyway. I always wonder how to reconstruct these guys. This one looks particularly scaly, especially around the head. But these guys are basically like proto-mammals. This creature is actually more closely related to you and me than it is to, you know, other reptiles or especially dinosaurs. This is pretty close to the ancestry of mammals, believe it or not. So should it have whiskers on its face? Should it have like a little mammalian type nose or something like that? I don't know what the latest science is on Dimetrodon and the other pelycosaurs, this group that it belongs to. Yeah. Pretty cool. And that, we're still not really sure what that sail is for either. Is it mostly for display? Is it for the thermoregulation? Maybe there is a modern consensus on this kind of thing, but I don't work on these guys, you know? I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. So, I guess if you want the latest science on Dimetrodon, you can check out Wikipedia. It's usually very up to date. But yeah. We have Allosaurus. I've seen a lot of Allosaurus on this trip so far. We saw a lot of Allosaurus at the Museum of Ancient Life in Utah. Here's a fleshed out Allosaurus head. I'm a little... I feel like those crests up there, you know, that's a display structure. Those should be very brightly colored. And instead they're just kind of covered with keratin right there that's kind of like a dull, you know, like a fingernail sort of color. I like the eyes. They're kind of striking. But the rest of the skull should be too. Those lacrimal crests at the top. Those should be really brightly colored. That's how I would do it, at least. Still, pretty neat.
I like the coloration on the teeth, though. It's reminiscent of a shark or something like that.
I don't know how, or maybe a crocodile, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know how authentic that is. It's probably pretty okay. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
We've got Scutellosaurus right here. There is a brand new paper on Scutellosaurus that I think just came out a couple days ago.
And Susie Maidmont, I think, was working on it. I think it's one of her papers.
I forget who her co-authors are. But yeah, Scutellosaurus, this is one of the earliest of the Thyreophorian dinosaurs. It might be the earliest we have so far, actually. This is from, let's say it's from the Kayenta Formation, like early Jurassic of Arizona, or some such. This is a contemporary of Dilophosaurus. You'll see a lot of paintings
Of Dilophosaurus just going to town on Scutellosaurus, just ripping them apart, eating them. And, yeah.
But yeah. So you can see all those osteoderms on its back, running down its tail. Armor plates.
So this guy is probably pretty close to the ancestry of the Stegosaurs and the Ankylosaurs. One of the, again, one of the earliest of the Thyreophorian, the armored dinosaurs. Pretty cool, and that is life size. It's not particularly big. Pretty small critter. And like a lot of kind of ancestral dinosaurs, it's bipedal. Quadrupedality, walking on four legs is kind of a derived characteristic for dinosaurs.
Ornitholestes right here. Very cool. A late Jurassic theropod dinosaur.
This guy, I think, is still pretty mysterious. I don't think we really know where it fits on the dinosaur family tree so far. I've seen it reconstructed before with sickle claws on its hind feet, like dromaeosaurids, kind of like Velociraptor or Deinonychus.
And this one does have those cool wrists that are kind of dromaeosaur-like right there. So clearly the artist was kind of going for that.
I don't know what the latest thinking is on Ornitholestes. Is it a Maniraptoran theropod or some weird outgroup or something? I don't know.
It's often reconstructed with a little crest on the end of the nose. And yeah, I don't know.
I seem to recall reading that Ornitholestes, like one of the most important specimens, was actually a composite. So it was made of multiple dinosaurs, all kind of squished into one. So I don't know. I think there's still a lot that we don't know about Ornitholestes. It's such an important animal because we don't have that many small theropods from that time period, from the late Jurassic of North America. So,
and then Compsognathus. I'm not sure how accurate those Compsognathus are. And this right up here. Can anybody tell me what this is?
If you have a guess, type it in right now.
What do you think? There you go, Josh.
You're exactly right, Javasaurus. That is Postosuchus.
Yeah, this is not a dinosaur right here. This is a...
What do we call them nowadays? They used to be called like Ornithosuchians. This would be like a Cruratarsan archosaur. This is one of the critters that lived alongside some of the first dinosaurs. This one I think is from, I want to say Postosuchus is from the Chinle Formation of Arizona. So it's like late Triassic, lived alongside Coelophysis and other dinosaurs like that.
But this would have been like the top predator in its ecosystem. Because back then, there weren't really any dinosaurs even approaching this size, I think. Toward the very beginning of the age of dinosaurs. So this is before the big Triassic-Jurassic
extinction event, where all of these critters died out. The dinosaurs were basically left to kind of inherit the Earth. Yeah, pretty cool. Rawasuchid, thank you, Timber. That's right. Yeah, Rawasuchians. Appreciate that. Yeah.
And then got a little Oviraptorosaur right here. Very cool. We were just talking about these on the channel maybe a week or two ago. Yeah, Ingenia. So nowadays,
this model right here, despite looking pretty modern, this is completely out of date now. I mean, yeah, we now know these guys totally covered with feathers. It would have looked like a big weird bird. Yeah,
these are one of these Oviraptorosaurs. And yeah,
the affinities of a lot of these guys are still pretty uncertain. We don't... They're so mixed up, Oviraptorosaurs, that I'm not sure if this is the same species or genus as Oviraptor or City Patty or whatever you want to call it nowadays. These guys are just a big mess, and I think they're grossly oversplit. But doesn't make it any less cool of an animal, certainly. In fact, it almost kind of makes it more tantalizing as a research subject because there's work left done on them. But pretty neat.
Cute, right? It's got a certain enthusiasm in its face. I like that artistic touch there. Pretty cool. And then, oh, this is supposed to be Troodon? Interesting. This looks a little small for Troodon, honestly. I was thinking maybe this is supposed to be Velociraptor. Skull is certainly more Velociraptor. No, this is not Troodon. This is Velociraptor. Why do they call it Troodon in the on the sign?
You're not doing so badly yourself.
I don't know. That's kind of bizarre. Troodon.
At least some of them seem to get a little bit. And of course, this should also be fully feathered, and another one of these very bird-like dinosaurs.
But yeah. I know, it does have pretty stocky arms. I guess that's consistent with it being a Troodon. I don't know. Troodon has very short arms. A lot of people kind of forget. If you're from Canada, you might call it Stenonychosaurus instead of Troodon.
But you know, it's funny. People get really up in arms about names like this. You gotta ask yourself, what kind of bearing does that really have on science, you know? Anywho, we've got, who is this supposed to be?
Hypacrosaurus. Very cool.
We actually saw a Hypacrosaurus yesterday at the Dinosaur Center, Wyoming Dinosaur Center. A juvenile Hypacrosaurus skeletal mount. This sculpt right here might actually be based on that particular specimen. It's about the same size. Its crest is about the same height. Yeah, it's one of those critters that changes tremendously through ontogeny, like a lot of dinosaurs do. I've seen Hypacrosaurus specimens where the crest is like twice as high as this.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Pretty nifty. I like that a lot. And then take a look at this. Wow. This is obviously supposed to be Tyrannosaurus again. And yeah, that's about life size. These guys have huge eyeballs. Take a look at that. They've got pretty big orbits. So pretty big like eye sockets. But that's like the size of a small orange right there. Or no, maybe like a regular size orange, because so much of it's behind the eyelid. Yeah, that's cool. And maybe you can see, if I put the camera like this, these things have vision. They could actually, you know, look directly ahead of them. It's pretty rare for dinosaurs. With birds, most dinosaurs have their eyes mounted kind of on the sides of their heads. Binocular vision would have been really advantageous for this. If it's, you know, an active predator, which they almost certainly were when they were young.
Oh yeah.
You've got a... Hi there, how's it going?
I just wanted to state Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the fact that Rex was a disease-resistant animal.
Really?
Yeah, another thing to know is that this animal has a sharpness of smell and sight. From an estimated 6 to 10 miles.
Yeah. We've got endocasts of their brains, so like you can look at the olfactory bulbs and the optic nerves.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
yeah.
Creature's mentality.
Mentality? What do you mean? Like
would it be fairly intelligent, or would it be...
I don't know.
Dimwit or something?
So I think, well, here's the thing, is that during the age of dinosaurs, dinosaurs were the smartest animal alive at the time. They were smarter than our ancestors, the man. Bless you.
Sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, so I mean, these guys were as smart as they needed to be. They were really successful. We know we've got like 2 million years of T-Rex in the Hell Creek Formation, so I mean, they were around for a long time. They're certainly smart enough to be able to be, you know, top dog in their environment. So
yeah, I mean,
they were smart enough.
Sure among the smartest would have been, well, Troodon, given the fact that, well, you know, as the scientific community calls it, well, Stenonychosaurus.
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, wait, sometimes.
There's some paleontologists who disagree about whether to call it Troodon or Stenonychosaurus. Most of the Canadians say Stenonychosaurus, and people from like my old advisor Dave Verricchio, he's always going to call it Troodon, probably.
Yeah, why do they have to consider renaming it as Stenonychosaurus? I mean, come on, Troodon has stuck around for so long.
That's one of the first dinosaur names from North America. It was named way back in 1850. So, yeah. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, although, the best way to settle this debacle, like, possibly have Troodon term, whereas, you know, Stenonychosaurus be known as a scientific term. That way, on both sides, it's still not classified as wrong.
Sure. Yeah. It's kind of arbitrary at a certain point, so that's a good point. Yeah.
Here's that, everyone. Here's that for a suggestion.
Cool. Thank you.
Common folk just call it, scientists just call it Stenonychosaur.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, scientific name Stenonychosaurus, common name Troodon. Sorry to have interrupted yet again.
No worries. Yeah, it's fine.
Also, it is estimated by the Hill City Museum of Dinosaur Institute that it could run up to 30 miles per hour. I have to agree with, given the length of the legs, because, you know, it can't run up to 1 mile per hour. I mean, walk, possibly.
Even walking, it'd be faster than that. Yeah, this thing's got like a 4-meter stride. Or I don't know, maybe a little bit shorter than that. But it's got really long. Walking, it would be probably 6 to 8 miles per hour.
Yeah, and this is sort of weird, given the fact that, well, you know, this animal was barrel-chested.
Yeah.
But then again, I personally would be scared of, like, watching this barrel-chested brute of a dinosaur just charge at me at 30 miles per hour.
Certainly,
That's like about tiger speed.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, thanks, John. Yeah.
Happy to be of assistance to any people that are, well, in need of knowledge.
Great, thank you. All right. So yeah. Anyway, Tyrannosaurus, one of everybody's favorites. Master of None, hey, how are you doing? Welcome to Paleontologizing. I'm currently doing a tour of the Dinosaur Museum in Rapid City, South Dakota. And that guy works here. And he keeps popping in to give us interesting facts. So yeah, anyway, for anybody who might be new here watching right now, let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Danny Anduza, and I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. Here on Twitch, just trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach. And this critter right here, I'm very excited to see. This is one of my study animals, actually. This is Suchomimus, yeah. Yeah, so this is actually one of the creatures that I work on. I've got an upcoming paper about like piscivorous and spinosaurid dinosaurs. And Suchomimus has some very interesting ideas to add to that. It's kind of a crucial component of this upcoming paper. So yeah, Suchomimus is from
the early Cretaceous of North Africa. I think it was found in Niger, I think? Could be Morocco. I'm pretty sure it's Niger. Described in 1997.
it was a big deal at the time. It really helped us understand what Spinosaurids looked like. Because before then we had Spinosaurus, which was super fragmentary at the time. And then we had Baryonyx, and that was really it. So this dinosaur really kind of helped us yeah.
Check out those super long crocodile-like jaws. Look at how narrow they are from side to side. One of the animals that's in the Paleontologizing logo is very similar to this. It's Baryonyx. It's got those same... Does it look familiar to you? Long-time viewers of the channel?
Really, not just dorso-ventrally compressed jaws, but laterally compressed.
I mean, that super, super narrow from side to side.
These guys almost certainly use those jaws to swipe at their prey. These guys are piscivorous. They were fish eaters. And they've got all of these really kind of smooth teeth.
Not very serrated at all. Kind of conical teeth. This is the condition for Spinosaurids. Very similar to crocodile teeth. In fact, they've actually been mistaken for crocodile teeth in a lot of instances. Misidentified in the past. There's just isolated teeth found. Pretty cool. It's really awesome to kind of be face to face with one of the animals that I study, you know?
There, yeah. Studied Suchomimus.
Yeah, I've got a paper coming out, hopefully pretty soon. I got to finish it, about fishing behavior in Spinosaurids. So, yeah.
Pretty sure you're familiar with the recent evidence about Spinosaurus' tail.
Yeah, there's some stuff about that that's a little bit fishy, but I did not mean that as a pun. But yeah.
That's good.
But yeah.
Still, I mean, if it ain't broke, if the evidence provides itself.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing about Spinosaurus is that like there's a bunch of different creatures from like different parts of North Africa, and they're all getting called Spinosaurus. And like there's bits and pieces from these different skeletons that kind of get assembled into the big like National Geographic picture that you've seen. Mm-hmm. And we don't actually know these are all the same animals. Millions and millions of years apart. And the ones from Morocco, we don't know if those are the same creature as the one from Egypt. You know? So yeah, it could be that picture of Spinosaurus, they might be like several different animals that have all been kind of smushed into one. We call it composite. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I personally did not know that.
Yeah, I mean this is ongoing research, so it's like hasn't been. Yeah. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Well, what can you tell us about Suchomimus here?
Well, I would have to say, given the fact that it has its nostrils on top of its nose, it could either have been semi-aquatic, but to an extent where it could have had to, swim from one end of the pond to the other end, just to get to a fishing spot better. Yeah. But I think primary means of fishing would have to be like in the water heron, having answers on the snout, and then as a fish swam by, it would just soon quickly shut its jaws like a fish trap, and then gulp it down.
Yeah, that's
down the gullet.
Pretty consistent with what I think about these guys. A lot of that stuff's going to be in the paper, so
yeah. I mean, I would
cool.
to picture it like Spinosaurus just in the water and then just fighting on Capristus.
The big sawfish. Yeah.
Although the question is, one paleontology enthusiast to another, what kind of size is Onchopristis?
I think they get pretty big. I think they're up to like 3 meters, like 12 feet, something like that.
12 feet?
I think so, yeah.
I thought it was 20 feet or 30 feet.
Maybe it is, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know a whole lot about Mesozoic fishes. But yeah.
Well, I'm
a pretty cool animal, yeah.
I'm one that prefers to be a generalist in terms of paleontology,
Yeah, cool.
Every single detail is valuable to my brain.
Yeah, really cool stuff.
Yeah. Still good to bump into you again.
Yeah, thanks. Cool. All right, I'm going to continue on over here. We'll take a look. Big old mosasaur.
I say big old mosasaur. Significantly bigger than this. We've talked a lot about these guys on this channel before, so it's really cool
to see one here in the flesh. The sign is calling it Platycarpus,
which that's probably right.
But this creature right here, anybody in chat tell me what sort of animal this is? Like, there's a group of modern animals to which... But yeah. And let's see. Oh, and hang on. Javasaurus had a question. Why would Spinosaurus grow to that size if it was an ambush fish hunter and not hunting for bigger prey? Were all the prey and habitat... It's contradictory? Well, Javasaurus, I mean, that's the thing, is that there are a lot of other big predatory dinosaurs already taking up the, like, large terrestrial dinosaur niches in the environments that Spinosaurus lived in. And so, yeah. Let's see. Too many pixels? What are you talking about, Claire? You're be clear if you've got something to tell me, please. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. There are some truly enormous fishes in the same environments that, like Spinosaurus, Baryonyx, Suchomimus lived in. So it would have been really, really good fishing. So these animals could subsist on a piscivorous diet, and all evidence points to them doing so, which is pretty cool. But anyway, oh, the video is not functioning. Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
Who could tell me what group of modern animals this critter belongs to? I know we've gone over this a lot in previous broadcasts.
Just want to do that again real quick. And Javasaurus, but those fish wouldn't just pass by. I mean, from what we can tell, those environments were just absolutely chock full of these enormous fishes. Those are the majority of the fossils that you find in those environments. Yeah, it was a very different environment from the present. But yeah. Anyway, this is
a mosasaur, which is actually a kind of lizard.
This is within Squamata, the lizards and snakes. And I think the latest consensus is that mosasaurs actually are, not only are they a kind of lizard, but they're very close to varanid lizards, and maybe pretty close to the origin of snakes, too. We talked about this a few weeks ago, and it seems like the jury's still kind of out on this sort of thing. But, yeah. Mosasaurs, really, really cool.
These guys show up in the Cretaceous, and they are hugely successful. They become the biggest predators in the oceans. Some of them are up to like 13, 14 meters long. It's like over 40 feet. Ones like Hanosaurus and Tylosaurus. They are enormous. And the word mosasaur actually comes from the river Meuse in the Netherlands, I believe. It might cut through a bunch of different countries there. But it means Meuse lizard. And you should look up the history of Mosasaurus and like its initial discovery. And I think Napoleon was actually tasked with capturing the fossil jaws of Mosasaurus because it was considered so scientifically important that it would be like a great prize to bring back to Paris. And I think that's how Georges Cuvier actually came to study Mosasaurus. Famous kind of comparative anatomist. I guess you could call him a paleontologist by modern standards, but that wasn't a word that existed yet back in the time. Yeah. Let's see. Who can tell me what kind of creature this bone belongs to? You guys should know this by this point. It should be pretty obvious. What kind of bone is it?
What's the name of the bone, and what sort of animal is it from? I wish I could play the Jeopardy theme here real quick, but I'll give you a minute to answer. Yeah. France, Belgium, and Netherlands. Oh, cool, Javasaurus. You've seen the original site for Mosasaurus? That's super cool. Wow. Really historically interesting. Yeah. Cannot see very well at all? Oh, okay. Shoot. Hopefully the video quality is okay.
I mean, just by the size. The size should be the giveaway here.
Well, I'll just tell you. This is sauropod femur. Probably a patasaurus, I'm guessing. But yeah, that's like a 6 foot tall femur right there. Pretty cool, right? It's the biggest bone in most dinosaurs' body is the femur, just like it is in ours. And yeah, some of them got truly enormous. Ooh. And right here we've got a lot of people's favorite dromaeosaur. Utah raptor. Pretty cool. Yeah. Video quality is real glitchy. I'm sorry, Zool. Doing the best I can here. But yeah, Utah raptor. This is life size for this animal. And a little bit stockier than this in life. Its legs are not as long as you see right here, not as svelte. We've got better specimens of Utah raptor since this sculpt was made, and it turns out that basically the bigger dromaeosaurs get, the stockier they get. They get bigger and heavier, and they need more robust limbs in order to support that weight. And of course, this creature should be totally covered with feathers nowadays. We know that these animals, they were feathered dinosaurs. And yeah, that's not reflected in this model. I guess this was made before that really became common knowledge. Yeah, pretty cool, Utah raptor. Yeah, how is the quality right now, everybody? Is it okay? I don't think I can adjust anything to improve it, but might as well ask, Right, let's check out Tyrannosaurus right here. Oh, I know this specimen. I am very well acquainted with this particular T-Rex. This is Pex Rex, this particular specimen. So we had the original at Museum of the Rockies in Bozeman, Montana, where I used to do my thing. Let's see here. Okay, I'm just going to hold this here for a minute and hope that the signal improves just a little bit. But yeah, this is Pex Rex from Fort Peck in Montana, right near Fort Peck Reservoir. So this is from one of those places where, this is from basically like the T-Rex capital of the world. Kind of the area surrounding Jordan, Montana, between Jordan and Fort Peck and that area up there. But very cool. So we will see the actual fossils at Museum of the Rockies when I'm there in about a week. But for right now, you get to see a cast, which is still pretty cool. It's missing a few pieces that we will see at Museum of the Rockies. This one doesn't have the furcula mounted there, the wishbone. We will see that at MOR. This one also doesn't have the caudal chevrons on it. The tail is looking awfully bare right here. If you look up there, it doesn't have those little bones that hang down from the caudal vertebrae. Those are called chevrons. This one doesn't have those. Yeah. There. I wonder if I go this way, if it'll improve things at all. Can anybody see anything right now? I'm trying to walk toward the Wi-Fi router. Oh, you can now? Okay, good. I think maybe the Wi-Fi here cut out for a minute or something, because my phone also disconnected from it. Anyway, yeah. Hopefully that wasn't because of me walking around. Hopefully that was because of just the Wi-Fi router conking out or something. I'm going to walk back over here and see if I can show you Pex Rex. Hopefully it'll work. Alright, let me know if it cuts out. Let's see. Your nation is a good time. Thank you, Ios. I appreciate that encouragement and that information. Yeah, Pex Rex right here. This is a cast of one of the specimens we have at Museum of the Rockies. So hopefully I'm giving you a visual of this right now. It's got this little flex to the fingers there. Flexing like this. I don't know how far they could actually flex their manual digits. They're pretty cool. Check out that pubic boot right there. It's like the keel on a ship or something. Yeah, that's the pubis bone, the big boot at the bottom. And so when these animals would sit down, they kind of fold their legs up underneath them, kind of like a chicken when it sits down. And that seems to be support for the animal's belly. So when it sits down, it doesn't crush all of its guts, you know. It's so heavy. So yeah. And MLE says, have I been to Chicago to see Sue the T-Rex? I've been a couple of times, yeah. Yeah, Sue is pretty cool. I think Sue might be just a tad overrated. It's such a sad T-Rex that I have difficulty being super excited about Sue. Yeah. I don't know. I hope that makes some kind of sense. Oh, we've got Arctodus over here. Short-faced bear. Take a look at that. I've seen this in catalogs before. You can purchase casts like this. They're like commercially available. So if you had the will and the gold, you could get one of these for your living room. Also, if you had like a 12-foot ceiling. But yeah, short-faced bear. These guys lived really recently, up to just a few thousand years ago, here in North America. And they are, part of the big Pleistocene megafauna. So these guys were walking around at the same time as mammoths and mastodons, giant ground sloths, saber-toothed cats, and dire wolves. Things were bigger back then, here in North America. And then they all just disappear like that, round about, I don't know, a little over 10,000 years ago. And interestingly enough, it's about the same time that the first people show up. So we may have actually had something to do with the extinction of these guys. That's, I don't know, what I'm convinced of anyway at this point. But you know what? I don't work on fossil mammals, so I don't really have a horse in that fight. Anywho, we've got a fleshed out Plesiosaurus right here. Check that out. A little bit smaller, or rather, I don't want to use the word smaller in reference to a creature like this. Tyrannosaurus is bigger than this, I should say. But yeah, this is one of the biggest Tyrannosaurids that we had here in North America until, it seems, Tyrannosaurus, marched across the land bridge from Asia. And, so in the late Cretaceous, around like Judith River Formation times, about guy on the block. This was the theropod dinosaur to watch out for at the time. And, until that land bridge forms, Tyrannosaurus walks over from Mongolia, and these guys all disappear. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, let me know if the quality improves at all. Let's see here. Let's see. Let me know if I come back online, if you can hear me right now. We're giving this our best shot. You like all the dialogue, though? We hear you. Video is no good, though. Thank you, Claire. That's useful information. Yeah, anyway, please let me know if the video starts coming back online. We've got a few different early dinosaurs over here, including Eoraptor. And we've talked a lot about Eoraptor on this channel before. We've got some cool Eoraptor models. There's a Coelophysis over here. A Dilophosaurus. Kind of dinosaurs getting progressively younger and progressively larger. Going from the Triassic to the early Jurassic with Dilophosaurus. Pretty neat. And then here's a big old polycotylid plesiosaur. Not sure if you can see this right now. Yeah. And then Sarcosuchus, big old crocodilian from the early Cretaceous of North Africa. Pretty cool. That's life-size, by the way. One of the largest crocodiles we've ever had on Earth, as far as we can tell. It's about the same size as like Deinosuchus or Purosaurus. There may actually be like a maximum size for how big crocodilians can get. And this might be kind of approaching that ceiling. Pretty cool. And then over here, we've got everybody's favorite saber-toothed cat, Smilodon. This is our state fossil in California. And it's really cool to be able to see the whole skeleton all laid out like this. I've got a Smilodon skull 3D print back in my office. So if any of you are new here, then you decide to follow, and then you stick around long enough to see my office streams when I get back to California, then I'll show you my Smilodon skull 3D print. But yeah, check out how long the neck is too. I wonder if that's much longer than other comparable large cats. That seems remarkably robust too. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Everybody loves saber-toothed cats. Hey, Dino Christ, thank you for the 6 months. I really appreciate your support. Yeah, can you guys see now? Are we back? Yeah. And got another Dilophosaurus right here. So it's just the head. Pretty neat. As we saw in that video with Brian Eng, Dilophosaurus. Its crest looked a lot different from that. So that really needs to be updated. Pretty cool. And then we've got our favorite star-crossed dinosaur lovers, Velociraptor and Protoceratops. That is, by the way, about life-size for Velociraptor. It might be a little bit small, actually. Some Velociraptor specimens are about that big, but I've seen larger, too. Yeah, it's about 6 feet long from the tip of its snout to the end of its tail. Much smaller than in the Jurassic Park movies, but as we've discussed, the Velociraptors from Jurassic Park are actually Deinonychus. They're not actually Velociraptors at all. Pretty cool. And then Protoceratops, one of the most common dinosaurs that you'll find out around like the Jajata Formation of Mongolia. These guys are everywhere out there. You pretty much can't swing a cat without hitting a Protoceratops. Yeah, pretty neat. Pretty neat. And then Albertosaurus, or maybe Gorgosaurus, depending on who you ask. I think their relationships are still a little bit in contention right now. But check that out. Just like Tyrannosaurus, it's got that binocular vision. You can see both of the eyes at once. These animals could see directly in front of them, unlike a lot of other dinosaurs. Yeah, pretty cool. Again, this is one of those North American tyrannosaurs that just kind of disappear once Tyrannosaurus walks across that land bridge, it seems. And I came found out, yes, Jurassic Park is not 100% factual. Certainly not. But yeah. Pretty cool. Hex Rex up there. I would go back over there, but it seems like the Wi-Fi kind of cuts out in that area. I don't want to invite that again. Yeah.
And we've got Styracosaurus right here, the most charismatic of all these ceratopsians from the late Cretaceous of North America. Check that out. Pretty cool. It's really neat to see this animal all fleshed out like this. Big old nasal horn right there. And then you've got those gigantic epis on the frills. So much that they're like horns unto themselves.
Really, really cool. It's just awesome to be able to see these in the flesh. Very cool, Styracosaurus.
And like we were talking about, look at how the eyes don't really go directly forward. Just like a lot of kind of prey animals today. It's got eyes that go out to the side, so it can see all around itself, but not really directly in front of it. Contrast that with Albertosaurus over here. It's got that keen binocular vision. Pretty neat. And then Daspletosaurus again. You know, I know some people who are digging up some Daspletosaurus as we speak right now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Pretty nifty. I wonder if this is the same exact model that we saw over there.
Yeah. A slightly outdated sign here. This is T-Rex's grandfather. Now I think the general consensus is that Tyrannosaurus is descended from Tarbosaurus in Mongolia. You know, it's a close relative of Daspletosaurus, but it's not a descendant of it per se. Pretty neat.
You always like Styracosaurus, Claire? It's a very cool dinosaur.
We've got Oviraptor down here, or City Patty, depending on who you talk to. Again, the affinities of these animals are kind of in flux right now. But this is cool. I really like that this is a more modern Oviraptor. Well,
it is way out of date in the sense that it doesn't have feathers on it. We now know these animals
totally covered with feathers. This would have looked like a big weird bird. But it's sitting as though it's brooding on its eggs. They didn't put the eggs here on the display, but clearly that's what the sculpt is supposed to depict. These animals are famous
for, well, there's a bunch of specimens of them sitting on top of nests of eggs. And for a long time, people kind of assumed that those were actually Protoceratops eggs, the eggs of these guys over here, because these are so common in this environment. Anytime they found eggs in the same formation, they assumed that they were Protoceratops eggs. But it turns out, no, they were Oviraptor eggs. So these guys weren't trying to steal Protoceratops eggs, they were brooding over their own nests. I've told that story a few times here on this channel. It's one of the more memorable ones in the history of 20th century dinosaur paleontology. But yeah, Oviraptor. The name means egg thief. You know, a more appropriate name would probably be something like egg protector or something like that. But yeah, egg thief to egg nurse. Exactly, Javasaurus. Yes. But yeah.
And then, ooh, check out that Parasaurolophus.
It's funny how a lot of these dinosaurs kind of have the same sort of color scheme the artist chose for them. There's a lot of like rusty reds and like cream colors and like kind of more muted browns. At least they're not all like brown or green or gray like a lot of dinosaur depictions are.
These are somewhat brightly colored, which is cool. But I would still love to see like some really crazy color pattern emblazoned upon that crest. I think that would be really cool to see.
Just to get the idea across to the public that these were really brightly colored animals. which we have every reason to think that they were. And hey, Rodan, are you at the Black Hills Institute? No, I am at the, it's just called the Dinosaur Museum in Rapid City, South Dakota. I don't know if I'd want to go visit BHI. It's basically like just a big showroom for stuff you can purchase. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Who can tell me what this is right here? Maybe you already saw the sign.
But, this is Placerius.
And that's kind of a...
I don't know, I've seen Placerius... There's a Placerius skull at UCMP at Berkeley. It's significantly larger than this, and much more robust.
I wonder if maybe this is a different species of Placerius, or maybe it's just an error. But this is one of the last of the Dicynodonts, right before these guys completely wiped out during the Triassic-Jurassic extinction event. But these are the sorts of critters that the Earth before the dinosaurs really take over. Dicynodonts, really cool, weird animals. And then we've got another Postosuchus right there. This is one of these big non-dinosaurian predators. More closely related to crocodiles than to dinosaurs. Yeah. Looks like it might be make a meal out of this poor Placerius. Pretty neat.
Oh, and does this say, what's his name? William Stout painting.
Very cool. You probably can't see that very well in the camera.
But, one of my favorite paleo artists, certainly one of the paleo artists who's had the biggest impact on my own work. So yeah, pretty neat. Pretty neat. There. Go and walk through the gift shop right here. And, it doesn't look like they have any of those pressed penny machines. Or I would try that real quick. I'll go around this way. Let's see. Pardon me? Thanks. Alright. Pretty neat. That was certainly worth a stop. In fact, let me grab a brochure real quick. This is a souvenir. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think, chat? Obviously, the gift shop has good Wi-Fi. There you go, Javasaurus. Yes. So anyway, that was the Dinosaur Museum in Rapid City, South Dakota. Sorry the signal was cutting out a little bit here and there, but that's how these things go sometimes. Let me go walk over to the big Tyrannosaurus over there, and then we'll sign off. I'll figure out whom I can raid. Yeah. Actually, Claire or somebody else, would you mind seeing who else is live right now, who we could pay a raid to? Who would appreciate a paleontologizing raid? Now, in the same complex here, we've also got
the Black Hills Toy Museum.
And over there is the Reptile Gardens. I remember driving from Montana to Wisconsin, you'd see like so many signs for the Reptile Gardens. Almost as many signs as they had for Wall Drug. Which, you know, it's an achievement having almost as many signs as Wall Drug. For anybody who's driven through that part of the country before, you know what I'm talking about. But, yeah. There's a big old Tyrannosaur that I took a picture in front of for Twitter before I started the stream. But yeah, you remember that Rodan? Yeah. Mayor Spaces, it's funny that the Jurassic Park font is the go-to aesthetic for dinosaur stuff. Yeah. I try and avoid that with a lot of my stuff. Yeah. Anywho. And Javasaurus says, you made my Friday. Thank you, Javasaurus. Hey. I really appreciate you saying so. Thanks for watching. This has been a lot of fun. I'm so glad that this is working, too. Like, it's been, I can't tell you how frustrating it's been. I've spent probably a combined, 30 or 40 hours over the past couple weeks trying to troubleshoot this darn thing. And it worked for today. Let's hope that it works for the rest of the weekend. Because after this, I'm headed to Ekalaka, Montana for the Dino Shindig. and I am very excited about that. It's going to be pretty cool, especially if this is working. We'll see if we can wrangle some other paleontologists into some impromptu interviews and that kind of thing. And yeah, visit the Carter County Museum and just enjoy the festivities. I'll see if I can stream each of the given days for maybe a couple hours or something. So yeah. Oh, Cooking with Lordy, there we go. Well, let me get that set up. I think I gotta open the Twitch app in order to be able to raid. Let's see, chat. Raid, Cooking with Lordy. So I know this is a departure from, this is certainly a departure from the normal streams that I do. Lordy, of course, is a chef. She does a lot of cooking. That's what her channel is about. But in about a week, she's actually going to be joining me out here, and then she's going to be accompanying me on this great big road trip all across the American West, visiting different museums, streaming on the road too. We're going to do some car streams, her reading chat to me, and then me answering questions and stuff. So anyway, yeah. Without further ado, I will introduce you to Lordy. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Hey Alice, it's so nice to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Oh my goodness, Paleontologizing is raining. Thank you guys so much